We have a responsibility to take care of children and families across the entire region, in many instances from the entire state. And access to care is a real challenge for the citizens of West Virginia. And so when we are here to take care of people and they're accessing our services, having the ability to continue to stay close. There aren't a lot of children's hospitals in the state. So inevitably, many families do have to travel far to get their children the care that they need. And it's simply not feasible in many instances to continue to travel back and forth. So being right next door really, I think, becomes a home away from home for these families and their children.
Back in 2005, I had a son here in Charleston, and medical care was needed. He was born with esophageal atresia, so his esophagus didn't connect to his stomach. Searching around the country, came across University of Minnesota. You're about 1,400 miles away, but when you're dealing with a kid that has medical issues, you want to do anything you can to make it better. So Ronald McDonald House. I was introduced to Ronald McDonald House during that stay, and it was life-changing. My son was there for about 3 months, and then my son passed away. Ronald McDonald House, there was a lot of comfort there. There was a place to get a warm meal, a place to get some rest when you're all day at a hospital, to go back, to be able to relax, to be able to spend time with other families that are going through similar issues. It was very life-changing that they were there during that time. I would have never guessed before I spent time at a Ronald McDonald House previously the impact that they have. Well, these families, they're more than 30 miles away from the facility. We serve the southern area of West Virginia. If you're an hour and a half away, you can't make that trip. Financially, a lot of times families can't make that trip multiple times a day to see their kids. Hospital, while you do have the hospital food, it's a little bit more comfortable for somebody to be able to come to the house, get a meal, relax, get a moment outside of dealing with the hustle and bustle of the hospital, because it does get stressful. This is a relaxing, caring environment that somebody can take a breath, reset before they go back to their children. This takes care of all that for you. While there's a lot of worthwhile charities, I think this is one of the most important, again, because we're dealing with sick kids, and the kids are our future, and taking care of them in the right time and taking care of the families, the right mindset, I think it's one of the most important charities that there is.
When I retired from the West Virginia Bankers Association a long time ago, I can't remember how long ago it was now, but I knew I had to volunteer somewhere. And because I have used the Ronald McDonald Houses 3 different places, I shouldn't say 3 times, multiple times. The 3 places were Morgantown, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati. It was just a no-brainer to come and volunteer for the Ronald McDonald House. It was my way of giving back to something that's always been good to me. As a volunteer, Betsy usually has several things available for us to do, but we always have certain things we really like to do. We try to make sure that everything in the place is comfortable. And if we're sitting at the front desk, answering the phone or greeting them as they come in, that even makes it nice. When they walk in with themselves or their families, there's always going to be one of us there or the staff there. So that's a big impact on the family.
So I ended up getting induced on the 16th at night, and my water broke on the 17th super early in the night. It was around 2, and my water broke unexpectedly. And when my water broke, he fell on his coordinate clamp. So he lost oxygen for a little bit. We ended up having to have an emergency C-section, and when he came out, he was blue, and they got him back to pink, but he ended up having to undergo a cooling treatment and warming treatment, and he was in the NICU for about 10 days. He was in the NICU for 10 days. So they told us that to try to apply for the Ronald McDonald House, that we could stay down here because we live about an hour and a half away. So that's what originally brought us here. My biggest challenge was not being able to be with my baby all the time. So being as close as we were, even though we weren't getting to stay with him all the time, it surprised me how many people come to donate their time to fix food, give treats. I just thought that was so amazing. And it really blessed my heart that so many people do that for others who are at a difficult time in their life, probably, with their kids. And I thought that was awesome. I would absolutely say that it's worth donating to, just because it was a blessing for my husband and I. It was our first birth experience, and it wasn't a very good experience. Nothing that the hospital did, just, having to see your baby in a NICU and not getting to hold your baby when you first had him. So the Ronald McDonald house was a blessing for us. Not only did we save lots of money, not having to stay at hotels or, having to travel back and forth from home, which is an hour and a half away. They were close, and they just made you feel comfortable in a time that may not have been so easy for you or even your family. I do think it's worth donating to. My husband and I, we were here a week, and we saved a lot of time and money. That was really probably my favorite because, people here, they tend to know who you are because you're here. We weren't here as long as what other people are, but we were here for 10 days, and I felt like, we become familiar faces. So then when you come back, it's kind of like you're coming back to see your family. I think that's really what my favorite part was.